Hi guys, welcome back to Skincare Anarchy. This is Ekta, and I have two fabulous guests with me today. I'm loving their line. It is a beautiful skincare line, and I want to, without further ado, I want to introduce you guys to Ricardo and Pilar Quintero. So welcome to the show, guys. I'm so excited you're here, and oh, I forgot to mention the line is called Care Skincare. So welcome to the show.
Thank you, Etka. Thank you for inviting us.
Thank you.
Oh, it's my honor. I absolutely love your line. It's so beautiful. It's so chic. I can't wait to learn all about it. And I want to start by really talking about you guys and your journey and your background. So maybe Pilar, you can get us started.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, I want to thank you first for giving us this space. It's important for us to talk about our brand and to talk about, care. So, Ricardo and I have been married now for 30 years. I was born and raised in Mexico City. My mother is American and my father is Mexican. And that's where I met Ricardo. He was also born and raised in Mexico, where his parents were Cuban immigrants. And we met, we fell in love, we got married, and we had our first child a year after we got married. And
oh, wow.
After that, a year and a half later, we had our second daughter. And then 3 years later, we had our third child, which is our oldest son. And then Ricardo was working with the beauty industry, with the beauty business. He was in the beauty business, and we were transferred to South Korea. So we packed up the kids, packed up the family, and we moved to South Korea. And as you can imagine, busy with kids and family and work.
Yeah.
We lived there for a few years, and then we were again transferred, or he was transferred to the United States. And that's where, we also packed up again and we moved to the US, and we are now in Connecticut. So we have been here for a while, and we arrived and we had our fourth child when we got here. So
oh my goodness, so many blessings. I love it. I love that.
So many blessings. So the ranges are from 28 to 12 years old. And it's been a wonderful and very blessed life, and very fulfilling with, the children and with a family. And, 4 years ago, we made a very important, life decision of Ricardo leaving the corporate world. And at that moment, we decided that we wanted to start our own business. We wanted to become entrepreneurs. And that was, one of the best decisions we have made. It has given Ricardo the opportunity to be here with a family, because as you can imagine, he was, on that hamster wheel, traveling constantly, commuting.
Yeah. I can imagine, yeah.
I was busy with the children, and it was just, a lot going on. So to, finally come together and have that time for the both of us to be together with the family and to be able to build a business together was really a blessing. So that's where, our journey led us.
I love that. And Ricardo, I would love to follow up by asking you, I mean, how was South Korea? How was going there and adapting and all that?
Well, it was absolutely wonderful. I think at some point these podcasts, there's going to be some sort of like subtitle or some commentary. Like when Pilar was describing, the children and everything, it was, the subtitle would be busy mom, extremely busy mom.
Yes.
Because, it's a full-time job. And, she was, taking care of the kids. I was, working and traveling a lot. But to answer your question, South Korea was amazing. It was one of the, in your life, there will be events and things that change your life forever. And for us to move, with our young kids to South Korea was just incredible, a radically different culture in so many ways. I mean, we were in Mexico. So can you imagine, I got a call from the former CEO at the time, and he said, Ricardo, we want to send you to Korea. And I said, are you up for that? I said, I have to talk to my wife, you know.
Yeah.
But off
Yeah.
the first bounce, absolutely. And you know, South Korea is just an incredible place. We loved the culture. We loved the people. It was just such admiration that we you know we learned so much of their journey as a country, everything they've been through, and we
Yeah.
just have tremendous respect and admiration for you know all things Korean.
I
Uh,
love
so,
that.
so that was wonderful. And then you
Yeah.
know, I got transferred. I got another call, and we want you to come to New York, which was incredible. And you know, I worked for an amazing company, the Estee Lauder companies, and I had nothing but gratitude, nothing but just appreciation for everything the company did for me and my family. You know,
Yeah.
to the Lauder family, to all the friends, all the mentors that I encountered, and I was blessed because you know it's not always easy to fit within a corporation, a big corporation, and to
Yeah.
find you know people that will help you, will look out for your best interest, will develop you, will mentor you, will give you opportunities to really expand and you know gain more responsibility and expand as a professional. So I am just extremely grateful, you know, to this day, and I made some great friends to
Yeah.
this day. So it's all good, you know, it's absolutely all good.
I love that. I really love that. I've heard amazing, nothing but amazing things about Estee Lauder and, the beauty industry as a whole. I've noticed just from starting this podcast. So it's a lot of really nice people, like there's a lot of, people who are very caring and very giving in this industry. So I love that you said that. And I want to actually shift focus and talk about the brand because it's such a nice brand, and the whole experience I've had using it, I've absolutely loved. So I want to talk about, what really inspired you guys to go towards skincare, and what was the journey behind all of that?
Well, thank you. I mean, I'll let Pilar talk more in detail about the brand, but I just want to preface it by building on what you just said about the industry,
Yeah.
because you know all the time that I have been involved, and I think Pilar will definitely shares this, is that this industry is an industry that really works for the well-being of others.
Yes. Yeah.
I you know I could probably never be in a business that sold you know the proverbial widgets or something that really didn't make a difference, something that was very transactional. You know, the products that are in the beauty industry, whether it's a moisturizer or whether it's a lipstick, these are products that are bought with emotion.
Yeah.
And that makes this beautiful industry so unique because, you know, when you're buying something with emotion, it means so much more. You're buying a lipstick, it's so much more than whatever tint you're putting on your lips. It's how it makes you feel. And,
Absolutely.
and
Yeah. Yeah.
we're in a business that helps people feel better about themselves, look better, feel better about themselves. And we are convinced that if somebody feels good about themselves, they're going to be better to themselves, to their family, to their friends, to their community, to the world at large. So there's a sort of like a philosophical motivation to be in
Yeah.
the industry and to contribute in a way that is very caring. And that is, you know, that's one of the reasons why the brand is called Cares. I'll let Pilar talk about that because it's
Yeah.
a beautiful story.
Yeah, so to continue with Ricardo's story of the brand, the reason we decided to name it Care was, to his point, in being products that were caring. Um,
Yeah.
we think about the word care, it's so obvious when you talk about skincare, you're caring for your skin.
Right.
Care, it represents more than just a behavior, it also represents an emotion. So when you buy skincare, you're bringing it into your home, into one of the most vulnerable places of your home, which is your bathroom, where you
Yeah.
tend
Yeah.
to be very, where it's, you're very vulnerable when you're looking at yourself in the mirror. We tend to be very self-critical, right? We
Right.
find all our, all our good things and bad things that we have in our, whether it's on our skin, whether it's, on our person. And this, brand, the way we wanted to create it was for it to be only about the product and making you feel good, not about creating these beauty standards that we are, fed constantly, that just make us doubt who we are and not really
Yeah.
see who we
Yeah.
are. And when I go into my bathroom and I go in the morning and at night and I'm going to apply my skincare, just to go in and see my bottles and my jars that say care are
Yeah.
just such a calming and refreshing feeling, that it just reminds me that I need to care about myself and I need to care about others around me, that I need to care about my environment, that I need to care
Yeah.
about everything that's happening. So it's more of a of an emotion more than a behavior. Um,
Absolutely. Pilar, and I don't want to interrupt you, but I really want to say this to everyone listening. Your brand, I love the name because it's not just, it's care, and then you put a period at the end of it. And you
yeah,
know what that made me think of the first time I saw it was, it's almost like Nike's just do it kind of thing. And I looked at that and I was like, care, yeah, like just care about people. You know what I mean? Care about yourself, care about things, like care, the idea and the concept, going back to Ricardo's point about almost a philosophical, this a philosophical undertone to things in the beauty industry. It's very, very true. And I think your brand truly shines in that because it makes you realize, like, no, you have to stop and you have to care about yourself and your skin and your overall well-being. And that is so, like, I think that's just such a well thought out name. So I had to comment on that.
thank you, Ekta. I love that you noticed the period, and
Yeah.
the period is there intentionally, and it really, that period is your beauty mark. We all are beautiful. We all have that beauty mark in us, and we tend to forget. We tend to forget that we are beautiful, that we are, we need to live to be the best version of each of us all the time, without worrying about what others are going to say, what others are going to see. Just, it's about us. And if we feel good with us, with the way we look, with the way we feel, then we transmit this all day, right? Whenever you
Yeah.
people, whenever you are with your loved ones, with your kids, with your husband, it's just a constant giving back.
Yeah, it's like good vibes. When you approach the world with this positive attitude and this like self-love, then yeah, you're absolutely right, Pilar. Like we have this normal tendency as human beings to just give that out. So I completely agree with you. And I actually want to share a short story with you guys because the brand already has a very special place in my heart because just the other day, well, a couple days ago, I was in a situation. So I'm in the medical field and I'm at the hospital quite a bit, and I had a meeting. It was a very last minute meeting that came up, and I was feeling terrible. I had been on call. I felt just terrible about like myself. I felt sweaty, gross, like I just didn't feel like meeting anybody. You know what I mean? And I remembered that I had put some of your the towelettes, the micellar water and the toner towelettes in my bag, and I used them, and I felt so much more confident by just something as simple as cleaning off my face, you know what I mean, and putting a fresh like face on almost for this meeting. And it just made me feel better to know that I took care of myself and I put myself in a place where I felt better in general before I walked into this meeting. So it definitely impacted me, on that day in a very personal way. So I just want to say thank you for that because you guys really, your products came in so clutch for me on that day, and I'll never forget it. So I
Thank
just wanted to share that.
Thank you
Um,
so much for sharing that story. It's very meaningful. And I'll tell you, one of the favorite parts of my day
yeah,
is, we're a small business and we're very close to our customer. And one of the favorite parts of my day is to looking at customer comments, customer ratings and reviews. And I have to tell you, every day it's at least one. I get a little sunshine with stories like the one you just shared, with
yeah,
customers coming back saying how the products are working for them, how they feel better about themselves, how their friends are noticing, how their husband noticed. I mean, it's just, this is what really keeps us so motivated because people are really seeing that emotional benefit when using the product. So thank you for sharing that. And it sort of builds on what we already enjoy every day with these little notes of sunshine.
Yeah, absolutely. And, I want to actually take the conversation further and talk about some of the formulations because it is a phenomenal brand. I mean, my skin has been loving it. The products are so beautiful in ways that like they absorb very quickly. It's a very nice feeling, just using the product. So I want to talk to you guys about the process of, formulating the first few products that you came out with, and what was that whole journey like? And what were some of the hurdles, some of the good stories, all that good stuff.
Absolutely. So one of the things that I want to clarify for everybody in your audience and for you, of course, is, I am not a product development expert. Pilar is a product expert because she has been, a very discerning consumer, and she knows about, what she likes, what she doesn't like. I mean, she's a very discerning consumer, but the products were formulated by an amazing friend and former colleague from Clinique. Her name is Debbie D'Aquino,
Hmm.
and she was, VP of product development, and she retired. And when Pilar and I started talking about launching our own skincare line, I recognized I don't know about product formulation, but I reached out to Debbie and I said, Debbie, we're thinking about doing this. Would you come and help us? And
Yeah.
she said, absolutely. So the products were developed by Debbie, who has, some of the greatest hits in the business were created by her. Uh,
Yeah.
and she is a real expert that knows about, skin, knows about product formulation, about ingredients, about technology. She is very well connected with a, cosmetic chemist product development community. So the goal was, when we spoke to her, we said, we want to create products that can give us the best technology available with the safest ingredients that we can, be available to us. And we want to create a line that simplifies skincare,
Yeah.
simplifies and declutters the messaging. Because one of the things, I'll let Pilar, explain this a little bit more, but what she's going to tell you is something that I heard traveling around the US and around the world. There is a consistency in what we found to be our insight and our white space for launching this line.
Well,
Mm.
it's something that, a lot of us go through where we have so many skincare products. And I'm sure that you have a lot of them and you've tried a lot of them, but
Yeah.
and we are, when you are trying to figure out what your skin really needs, you tend to, buy a lot of products, you tend to test them. Some of them work, some of them don't, some of them have beautiful textures, some of them just don't feel right. And it's, an expensive way to try products and figure out if they're working. So
Yeah.
we wanted to create really a line where we had the products that your skin really needs to be healthy, without, any marketing, sorry to say it, but no marketing BS, but really talking about what your skin needs, which is, you need to cleanse, you need to moisturize, you need to protect, and you need to repair. And
Right.
taking those, 4 standards of what you need for a good skincare routine, we created the line. So like Ricardo said, we reached out to Debbie, and oh my gosh, she is amazing in her craft, and she is so knowledgeable, and has so much information in ingredients and formulation that we were able to, find a contract manufacturer that could create these products for us. And then with Debbie and, the lab, be able to formulate each one of the products.
Now, I must tell you that this is an important distinction because, we've seen so many brands. And by the way, we're becoming entrepreneurs later in life.
Yeah.
And I think that's like a complete story in itself, because I have so many friends and people that are in my age group and with a similar journey than Pilar's and mine, and they're concerned. They're like they're tired, they're worn out, they're burnt out, and they're thinking, why, what's going to happen? When am I going to retire? What's going to happen later? And what we're discovering is that you can become an entrepreneur today at any age. And this is something that's available to everybody.
Mm.
And one of the reasons we wanted to launch this business the way we did is that, I learned a lot. Like, I'm always learning, but I learned a lot of the big transformation that has happened, with technology. But really,
Yeah.
the thing that really accelerated everything was the introduction of the iPhone. And
Yeah.
after the iPhone came in, it really changed so many of our behaviors. And the minute that they digitized payments, that now you could pay, from your phone. That was the beginning of this acceleration of e-commerce. I remember giving a presentation many years ago talking
Yeah.
about e-commerce. And, we had a very interesting statistic. It said, in the early days of e-commerce, we said,
Yeah.
I would ask the group, what do you think was the peak hour when people would shop online?
Yeah.
And people would have it was lunchtime. And the reason was people had their computers were at work. They'd grab a sandwich or something, a salad, and they would
Yeah.
be shopping during lunchtime. Then you have the increase in penetration of desktops and laptops at home. And then
Yeah.
you're starting to see a shift of people, yeah, still shopping during lunchtime, but shopping at night, after they put the kids to dinner, shopping at night. But all of this changed dramatically when the iPhone comes in and now everything is mobile. And and the websites had now this idea of mobile first, and they adapted. Because if you remember the early days of, you use your phone, and no website worked well because it wasn't designed for a mobile.
Yeah, like the flip phones. Yeah, I
Exactly.
know. Yeah.
So I think this aspect really changed the way people discover brands,
Yeah.
changed the way people shop. And with COVID, I mean, COVID has been terrible. I mean, I don't want to get into that, but what COVID did, it really accelerated so many of these trends that were already there, and people are now very comfortable,
Yeah.
discovering brands and shopping brands online. So one of the things that Pilar and I, as a design tenant, if you will, when we launched our business, our office is our kitchen table. And I know
Yeah.
this sounds very folksy, but like, we don't intend to go back into a big office and have a hierarchy. No, no, no. This is, our business was designed so that we could manage our business from our iPhone.
I love that.
Everything was reverse engineered to be able to do that. So we were very lucky that, with COVID, we were prepared because we had actually thought about it. The name of the company is called Digital Brands, because
Yeah.
everything we do is digital. And when we launched the brand, we said, okay, we want to make sure that everything that happens, is mobile first, all these good things. But we wanted to leverage the billions of dollars that have been invested in all of this infrastructure that is
Yeah.
available to everybody. We work with Shopify, which is an amazing platform that solves one of the pain points of e-commerce, which is the payment processing. They have
Yeah.
an amazing technology there. So, if this is my public service announcement for your podcast, is if you're thinking about launching a business, if you are whatever stage of your life you're in, but you have that desire to be an entrepreneur and participate and take advantage of all this, do it. And if you have any questions, Pilar and I will help you.
Oh, I love that. I love that. No, I completely agree with you. And you have made such a great point, Ricardo, because, you're right. Everything can be done from the phone. And also, like, the accessibility, right? Like, I mean, it's completely changed how accessible products are to people, and how we can, it's almost like creating so many more options, the way that technology has gone and the way it is now. I mean, I can get on my phone, like you said, go to any website, but also more importantly, the process of buying something, like the steps that it took before, it's just been more simplified. And I think that is absolutely huge, and definitely something that, new entrepreneurs should definitely leverage and look into a lot more. So I love that. Thank you for sharing that.
No, absolutely. So, we've seen a lot of new brands coming out, which is, you can say, well, is that good or is that bad? Well, it's both.
Yeah.
But we did not go to a contract manufacturer. We visited many of them. We talked to a lot of people. We did not go to a contract manufacturer and say, okay, give me this, off the shelf formula, slap a label on it with our brand, and let's be done. No,
Yeah.
because you asked me about the process. The process was a process where I have to tell you, we said no more than we said yes. Because,
Mm.
Debbie would come up with a formula, the lab would batch it out, we'd look at it, and then Pilar would say, no, it's not what I want. Debbie would say, no, it's not right. The texture is not right. Because everything, it's not only about the ingredients that are in a formula, but it's how those ingredients are combined. And
Yeah.
that
Yeah.
combination of ingredients that you can create a different experience. Debbie always used the term, I want it to be a luxurious formula, a luxurious experience. This is
Yeah.
something you're putting on your face. I mean, your face doesn't get any more, important than what you put on your face. So we want it to be a very luxurious, enjoyable experience. So we spent over a year coming up, Debbie and Pilar working together with a lab chemist,
Wow.
coming up with a formula, rejecting the formula. And finally, when it was ready and we felt good, it passed all the testing, we said, okay, we're ready. Now,
Wow.
the line, the design of, and the reason to be of the company, Pilar and I always said, does the world need another skincare brand? Well, if
Yeah.
it's going to be Me Too vanilla ice cream, the answer is no. We wanted to create something that was different, that was simplified because of all of these messages, all of these new products constantly coming out, and the credibility. I mean, you launch a new product and then 6 months later, oh no, this is better than the one before. And this is now you have to add another product to routine. We wanted to simplify. So we said, we're not going to be a new product launching machine. We're
Yeah.
a private company. We don't have to tell anything to Wall Street. We're doing better numbers than last quarter last year. Uh,
Yeah.
and our intent is to keep the line tight. We have 5 products now. We should have had 6 products. The 6th product is a very important, crucial product necessary for any skincare line, which is a sunscreen.
Yeah.
Because sun protection is so important to have healthy skin. And we have not arrived at a formula that can be approved by Debbie, by Pilar, and the testing.
Yeah.
So we've rejected. We did it. It didn't work. They liked it, but it didn't pass the testing to the SPF level we wanted. So that is a work in progress. But other than that, the 5 products that we have were designed to work together, to multitask, so that you don't have to be thinking about it. You don't have to be saying, oh, I have to do this. No. These
Yeah.
products were designed to work together, multitasking, bringing the best of ingredients that were available at the time of the formulation. And they were formulated with the intent to say, if we see a new ingredient that comes out that makes it better, we're going to improve the efficacy of the product, but we're not going to change the texture, but we're not going to be constantly launching new products. And this has been the ethos of how we make, how we create this simplicity. And by simplicity, it doesn't mean bad. By simple, we think it's genius and it's better because you don't have to worry about so many things. And the mantra is, how do we provide the highest level of efficacy and results while maximizing safety and minimizing irritation and all the things that are bad for your skin?
Yeah, and you know what? That's a really great point because it's a very, very like I don't want to say gentle in the sense that, I don't know, people take that word differently, but it is a gentle line. I have not had any kind of skin concerns with it. I can tell. And I wanted to actually say this, and Pilar, I think you'll agree with me, is that when I try a product, that luxury component of it, like what you're talking about, Ricardo, like where the texture is nice and the formula is nice, I stick to that. There are so many products. You're right. There's so many products out in the market. And I was that consumer, before this podcast even started. I was that skincare nerd that would buy like the new release, you know what I mean, from like the big companies. And I would always, like, 9 times out of 10, I would be disappointed because it didn't have that factor of just, wow, I love putting this on my skin. I keep coming back. That factor was not there 9 times out of 10. So I completely echo and, completely agree with everything you said in that realm, because I know there's a huge conversation around luxury and the importance of luxury and beauty, and I think that whole conversation, it actually needs to be kind of, I guess, edited a little bit or expanded on, because luxury can mean so many things. Luxury isn't just packaging or the look of something. It's the experience, and it's the feeling that you get, like, knowing that this is a product I can use time and time again, and it's going to deliver results. So yeah, I love everything you said.
So to your
Thank you.
point, that when you say that wow factor, that's
Yeah.
exactly what we were looking for. When we were formulating, we wanted to make sure that the moment that you applied that product, you would say, wow, it feels amazing. And it was important because, as you can't see results from a product until after 4 weeks or 6 weeks by using it consistently. So if
Exactly. Yeah.
first time you put it on, you don't have that wow factor, you will stop using it.
Yeah.
So that was, that was the most important part of that initial texture feeling of the product. And then of course, having those ingredients that would give you those results.
Absolutely. And, it really shows in every single product in the line. I mean, I can't rave enough about it. I love the towelette multi-pack. I think that's by far one of my, I've already shared my story, but it's definitely a saving grace product for me. And I think that, this product actually for me was very the most innovative that I've seen in like just, using a towel to cleanse your face, because it it doesn't just take off. You know how some like companies will make, a similar product and you put it on and your face ends up shiny or like that glossy look? It doesn't do that. Like that's what really impressed me is that, when I used the towelette, it just made my skin look absolutely fresh. It made me look like I had just washed my face. You know what I mean? Like, and so that really blew me away when I saw that, especially going into a meeting. You know what I'm saying? Like that's where it really shows, like if it's good or bad, what you're using. Because if you can't rely on your products in situations where you need them to work, then that's not money well invested, at the end of the day. So I think that everything you guys have done, all the, love and creativity and all of the, detail oriented approach that you've put in, it really shows in the line. And I just, I'm so glad that, you guys are sharing the story with us.
Yeah.
Thank you. There's another important component of the brand, if I may, share with you and your audience.
Yeah.
Uh, we think, and I don't want this. I know this is not a. I'm not going to make a political statement, but I'm going to say something that I think a lot of everybody in your audience and everybody's thinking about. There's this discussion about capitalism and socialism and all these things,
Yeah.
and we are capitalists. We believe in free enterprise. We believe in all these things, but we believe that in order for the free enterprise system to work, there needs to be a responsibility backbone in every business to give back to the community that they serve. And it
Yeah.
can be real. It can't be lip service. It needs to be genuine. And to the degree that, the business community is giving back, has this sense of caring, of giving back, of being aware and supporting the communities that they serve that actually keep them in business, I think that in itself will play a major role in all the healing that is required,
Yeah.
in the country and around the world. So one of the things that Pilar and I were very clear on, the name of the brand is Care.
Yeah.
And we have to walk the talk. It can't be care. And how do you care?
Yeah.
So we created a program called Because We Care. And I'll tell you a quick story about this. We have a wonderful, brand, patent attorney.
Yeah.
And when I first told him, we were doing the registration for the trademark and all this. I said, we want to trademark Care. And the guy
Yeah.
said, Ricardo, that's going to be impossible because it's a generic term. I said, please look into it. Like this
Yeah.
is really, really important because it really embodies what we're trying to do with brand. And long story shorter, through what I say, is an, acts of grace, of the grace of God, we got the registration. And
Wow.
he called me and said, Ricardo, you're not going to believe it. We got it. I said, well, God bless you. This is wonderful. We
Yeah.
have a registered trade. We've registered the brand Care, which is crazy.
Wow.
But at the time, when we started, we said if we get this, we want to talk about a program called Because We Care. And he said, Ricardo, what I believe in so much in what you're doing is I'm going to trademark that as well for you, for what you're doing. So the story of Because We Care is we wanted to have a give back approach to the community we serve from day one. I have
Huh.
a very good friend who basically said, Ricardo, I love everything you're talking about, but why don't you wait until you have some business? Why don't you wait until you have a big customer base? Why don't you wait until you're big to talk about giving back? I said, no, you don't get it. It has to be from day one.
Yes, yes. I love that.
So
That's the real, no, that is the way to go about it. I mean, there's not a lot of people that do that, and it really gets on my nerves because it's like, if you're a brand that's making multi-millions of dollars, every month from sales and you're just now starting to give back, that tells me a lot about your ethics and your morals. You know what I'm saying? So like I
absolutely.
completely agree with you. I think that is like the epitome of the name of the brand, because you're right. What good is it if you don't help out the others around you? You know what I mean? Like that's a big part of entrepreneurship, and I think the fact that you've honored that is huge, absolutely
Absolutely.
huge.
Thank you. I'm so happy, you recognize and we're aligned on that, because I think that is such a high order value that is
Yeah,
required. It's not an option. It's required of business today. And like I said before, there's so much healing that is necessary for society and I think it's really important. So, the philosophy behind this
yeah,
is, you probably may have heard the old adage to say, you can't boil the ocean, but you
yeah,
can boil a pot. So
yes,
our approach to this give back program is we're going to find a pot that we can boil. And we're going to do it with the help and the guidance of the community we serve. So, the first one was really, Pilar and I making the decision because we didn't have any customers. But as we started, we had those terrible, horrific fires in California. And
yeah,
we were watching the news and we saw an entire town just being, burnt to the ground. All these families, we said, you know what? This is the first one. We reached out to the California Fire Foundation, and we gave them a little bit there, and we said, okay, where do we go next?
yeah,
And we then had more of a following on Instagram, so we did polling, and we said, what are you interested in? Are you interested in, what are the themes? Women or children, or women or families, the environment. What are the themes? And we have been very lucky that our followers and our customers have guided us where to go next. So we've been able to work, and by the way, all of this is done not in the traditional, corporate partnership, because that's not what this is about. This is, we find something that we find that pot we want to boil, and we find a foundation that is honoring that, and we'll donate, and then we'll move on to the next one, because throughout the year we will be moving from different themes that we believe and our community believes that require help. So
yeah,
that has been our approach, and it's I don't want to say it's perfect, but it gives you that ability to really go and touch many different things. So we've been involved. That first one was about the fires. Then we're involved with motherhood. And every mother counts. We were involved with a beautiful, really important foundation in the state of Connecticut where we are at, which is
yeah,
called the Be Homeful Project, which
yeah,
basically tries to prevent homelessness. And what they
yeah,
found
yeah,
is that there's a moment before people lose their homes where where some help can actually prevent everything that comes afterwards. If you can imagine of a terrible thing that can happen to someone is to lose their home. Think about a family that loses their home with kids. I mean, it's one of the most horrific nightmares that that people would have and would have to go through.
yeah,
So we found this group that was amazing. Then we want, well, then of course we had COVID upon us, so we did donations to the local hospitals here, 2 different hospitals. But the approach has also been different in a way, because what we said, for example, the sales, 100% of the sales of one of our 5 SKU or 5 products,
yeah,
for every Monday during the period we're doing it, whether it's a month, 2 months, or 3 months, 100% of the sales are donated to that cause. So we're not playing the little percentage game, like we'll give 1% of our, no. 100%
yeah,
of the sales, and everything is driven behind this so we can actually move the needle.
It's like go big or go home, and you've really mastered that. Oh my goodness, I'm blown away. And also, on the causes that you have picked and really thought about, giving back to are actually very, very unique in a way, because they're not like typical. You know how like some brands, for example, again, a really big brand, like they'll pick like the biggest charity and they'll be like, okay, we're just going to give to this. No, like it shows that you have really handpicked, things that are very, very important for our society. And I am just so blown away by those efforts. I mean, and everybody listening, by the way, if you go to careskincare.com and you go down to the Because We Care section, you can see all of the initiatives that the brand has donated to. And it's absolutely mind blowing. Like, I love it. I love everything about this. This is exactly the kind of initiative and the kind of, just taking things into your own hands that we need. I mean, honestly, hats off to both of you for that.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
Yes. No, I mean, and like I genuinely, I love supporting companies that I believe in, and that's a huge reason I even started this podcast, is that I realized that there are these like, almost giant monopolies in a market that should be more customized and should be more, like, I guess, free. You know what I mean? Like, people should be free to choose more options, and I think you guys are just such a shining example of a great option for not only skin health, but also, just being able to like participate and like work with you to give back to these communities. That's everything, and that means so much to me as a consumer. So, I truly applaud your brand. I truly applaud your vision, and I hope everyone listening, all of you, need to right now go to careskincare.com and check out all the products. I promise they are phenomenal. You guys, like, Pilar, you really have an eye for quality and luxury. I will say that, because it really shows. And I just go check them out, leave some comments, leave some feedback, tell us what you think about the charitable initiatives of the brand is involved in. And I would love to have you guys back anytime. Thank you so much.
Ekta, thank you. And I know we're running out of time, but I, as somebody in the industry, I
Yeah.
want to take this moment to thank you for creating this space that is so diverse, and it covers so many angles of this beautiful industry. I mean, you create a space for brands, but also for editors, for dermatologists, for everybody, cosmetic chemists. Everybody has a place around the table. And I just want to thank you on behalf of everybody that's involved, everybody that has been on your show, and all the people that listen. You are also making a huge contribution to the development and the future of this industry. So, on behalf of everybody, I'm taking the mic. I want to
Thank you.
Thank you so much. That means the world to me. And Ricardo, the fact that you recognized the idea of having a seat at the table for everyone, is that just, it really hit my heart, because that's exactly what I wanted. So thank you so much for that compliment. It means the world.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, guys. And I will be back next time. But again, careskincare.com. Do not forget, guys, go to careskincare.com right now and just dive in, because it's a beautiful line. Thank you guys so much, and I'll be back next time.
Thank you.
Thank you.